You're talking about him or you?
Greta, look, I want to make a very clear distinction. When Mr. Trump insults Muslims, those are not the values of the Republican Party. They're simply the values of people who vote for the Republican Party. So in that sense only, go, Trump!
Yeah, but
right.
You don't think we should block Muslims from entering?
Yeah, okay, what we need to do is build a bridge between Muslims and Americans, okay? But we have to make that bridge really hard to cross. You know, like, really slow down the flow of traffic on the bridge until that son of a bitch from Fort Lee gets the message.
Remember the bridge gate?
Oh, no.
Okay, finally joining us from his campaign headquarters in Virginia's...
This is actually racist.
Who is this?
Dr. Carson.
Oh. Hi, Greta. I just drank a Red Bull, and I am fired up about this. But first, can I just ask, what happened to me? I mean, when I left for the Middle East, I was tied for #1 in the polls. When I came back a week later, everyone had forgotten about me. My campaign headquarters got cleared out, and they're turning it into an office for DraftKings.com. I mean, did I Rip Van Winkle myself? Have I been asleep for years?
I don't know. You have fallen quite a bit in the polls, and it seems like some are now questioning your foreign policy experience.
Listen, but that's why I went to visit the lovely country of Jordans.
Jordan.
I met with the Shiites and the Hiites.
That's not right.
And I talked to them all about radical groups. Hummus.
Nope.
ISIS.
No.
Even Al Gator.
Oh, no. So you think we should hit ISIS head on?
That's right.
Here it is.
Head on. Which is always also the first rule of brain surgery. Always leave the head on.
How was that funny?
Well, that's all the time we have. It seems like no one was willing to stand up to Mr. Trump and offer a full condemnation.
Did you say Constitution?
No, I said condemnation.
Oh, well, you're absolutely right, Greta. This is not a condom nation. This is a Christian nation.
Oh, my gosh, my soul hurts. For On the Record, I'm Greta Van Susteren.
I don't know who's doing that, but I used to watch Greta almost every single night, and I have to admit, she did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
She did a really good job, and also the guy that did Ted Cruz, that sounded like, I mean, I was buying it.
Right.
Like my brain was buying it.
You should have seen.
The Carson thing, the thing about the Carson thing is this is how the left, how the communists have taken over in America. Saturday Night Live is critical. It's a critical part of the propaganda. It's so subtle. You know, people truly believe that George Bush himself said the word strategery. It was Will Ferrell. They believe Sarah Palin said that she could see Russia from her house. She never said that. That was, what's her name? The woman, that the producer.
Right.
And
Tina Fey.
They are going to believe that Carson is a moron because of this guy's portrayal of him. They're going to believe it.
Because he said yes.
No, that was Cruz.
Oh, Carson. You should have seen the body language of this black guy portraying Carson.
Mm-hmm.
His hands were bent and all his fingers were together, and he was like
almost doing the retarded kid.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
They were doing what they were accusing Trump of doing.
Right.
Making fun of the disabled.
Well, how do you make fun of a neurosurgeon who works on children's brains, and you're calling him retarded?
And they're just the overall portrayal of him being stupid.
I just drank a Red Bull.
And look at all the
fired up.
Well, that was the making fun of how sleepy he always acts. But no, the Shias and the Hias. And
wow. And they're going to think he said Shias and Hias.
Right, if they can remember that. It has to be something that just gets an explosion of laughter. Right. Kind of I can see Russia from my house. You know, that was a huge thing. And strategery was actually hilarious. I did laugh at that. That was like the last time I laughed
on Saturday Night Live. But anyway, their portrayal of him not knowing. The Jordans?
Yeah.
I went to go see Jordans. What? The she-is and the he-is?
Yeah.
I mean, they're portraying him as a complete moron. And it's a huge lie. How could you even remotely go there?
Well, they've got to do something to destroy him. He's a doctor.
And he's black.
And he's a brain surgeon. He's a brain surgeon.
Hey, a lot of people may take offense to this language, but in a way, I'm saying it in two meanings, and both of them are correct. Democrats own black people.
Right.
Both in voting and in actuality, as far as slavery is concerned. Yeah. I mean, they went from going from the plantation to being a lever puller.
Right.
That's what they are. They are the lever puller. And every time they pull that lever, it's one of the machines that do two things with one pull. The one thing is the welfare stamp or check comes out the front, and out the back is a vote for the Democrat Party.
Right.
So that's what the lever pulling does. And they've convinced them to do it. It's just crazy. And by they, I mean those that are voting Democrat in the black community.
Right.
There are some, what is it, 5% that are not voting Democrat.
And when you've got Democrats that will lambaste a black Republican and not be called racist for it. How is SNL not being called racist for making fun of Ben Carson?
They do it in a racist way, which really, really makes it so just the worst. When they'll say, that he's an Uncle Tom or whatever. Right. I mean, everything that they do to black conservatives that are in and of themselves racist is just the worst of the worst. It's just terrible. And so anyway, we talk so many episodes about black Democrats versus black Republicans and everything. Right. It's just, it's exhaustive. But, that'll come up more and more if Carson does win the nomination.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, so did you hear about Rand Paul?
Actually, I haven't.
He's dropping out.
For real?
Well, the Boston Globe misquoted him.
Oh, they did that with Trump. Remember when Trump said, if I start dropping or what did he say? Oh, if I get below 1% in the polls, like all these other guys, I would drop out. The next day,
Trump's dropping out.
Trump's dropping out.
Okay, so they said Boston Globe misquotes Rand Paul, suggests he's dropping out. They didn't say he was dropping out, but they suggested it. And they said, this is what they said. They said, Rand Paul, this is what they wrote in their newspaper. Quote, we will make an announcement on that on Tuesday. Paul is quoted as saying by the Globe's Angela Salcedo and Robert Way, and what they wrote was a response when, quote, asked Saturday by the Globe specifically if he would drop out of the race for president if he didn't qualify for the main stage GOP debate. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is confident he will be on the primetime Republican debate stage Tuesday, but if he falls short, he will make an announcement this week about what comes next.
So they're trying to predict
him dropping. Right.
So instead of reporting what he's actually saying, they're trying to figure out what he's saying means, and once they do that, then they'll report to you what they think he means as if it is what he said.
Right.
That's a very huge distinction.
Right. And
we've read it in between the lines for you, and this is what we have concluded that he said, which is he is dropping out this Tuesday.
This is how we make the news.
By the way, what if he makes the main stage? They say, well, we told you that he was going to drop out Tuesday, but we did say that he would only do that if he doesn't make the
main stage.
Yeah. And he did.
So good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. So go ahead and move on from what we said.
So the National Journal comes out and says that Ted Cruz is more dangerous than Donald Trump.
First of all, what danger? What are we talking about?
The firebrand junior senator from Texas is backed by 31% of those likely to attend the Republican caucus that started the presidential nomination season February 1st. Trump is a distant second at 21%, up slightly from 19% in October, but below his peak of 23% in August.
But what's the danger?
They're saying that he's more he because he could win. They believe that Cruz would win and not Trump, but Cruz is Trump and could become
Hold
more
on.
unhinged.
Let me try to rephrase this, and you tell me if I'm right or not. Because he could be a danger to Trump, because he could win the nomination, or is it that he's a danger to the left?
Yes.
Because he could win the nomination.
Correct. He's a danger to the left.
By the way, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay? So the enemy of America is the left.
Right.
And the enemy of
The left.
Rand Paul
Right.
is the left.
Right.
So does that mean America's a friend of Rand Paul?
Probably.
Unless he throws Matt Bevin under the bus for Mitch McConnell.
How did we get to Rand Paul? We're talking about Cruz.
Oh, I thought you said Rand Paul. This
No,
was a
it's-
story about Rand Paul, wasn't it?
No. We've moved on from Rand Paul.
Cruz might not be in the kiddie table?
Oh, Cruz is more dangerous than Trump.
Oh, we're on a different story.
Yeah.
Oh, Cruz.
National
Oh,
review.
well, we know that Cruz is a friend of America.
Right. And so they're claiming he's more dangerous than Trump.
Yeah, more dangerous to the communists.
I think so too. I think Ted Cruz would, in all fairness to Trump, the talk that he talks, if he walks the walk, he does what he does. When he gets to the White House, there's a learning curve. And there's ways of doing things, ways that you can and ways you can't. I don't know if he'll be able to, how long it will take him to get on that horse to ride it hard. However,
We're talking about
Trump. However,
oh, man, this is an executive position.
I think Ted Cruz. You don't think Ted Cruz?
I got
would be
the
able,
opposite. I got the opposite because Cruz has been a senator for a while,
right?
which is a completely different job description, list of responsibilities as what you'd find in any executive position in public. I look at it this way.
Ownership to a business, that type of
Well,
thing.
if you think of it as an executive position and running a state, I look at a governor and a president this way. You are the CEO of the state if
Right.
you're a governor. You're the CEO of America if you're a president. You're the top executive. In a company, the top executive is a CEO. So I look at the distinction this way. If you're a CEO or if you're the leader of an entity in the public sector, you are a governor or a president.
Right.
If you're the top, executive in the private sector, then you would be the president or CEO or COO or whatever. Trump is going to find the transition to be less of a problem than Cruz, whose job was to create laws and rally support around laws,
Right.
or to support others' laws or oppose. It's all about debate. What's so good about this law? What's so bad about this law? What can I do to convince others that are listening to me in our big room in the Capitol that this is a good law and that they should support it, or that it's a bad law and they shouldn't support it, they should vote against it? That's what his job is, and he's great at that. If he becomes president, there's going to be a transition for him. Whereas Trump, he's going from being a CEO in the private sector to a CEO in the public sector. I think it'll be the only learning curve he's going to have is transitioning between two businesses. Okay, my business did these things, this public business of running the country does these things. What can I learn